Hey, welcome back everybody to Black Exchange with the Salt and Pepper Gang. I got the crew here. We got some great topics, so stay tuned, stay tapped in. We got you. So I'm gonna have my guys introduce themselves. We're gonna have a topic. We're really talking about our youth today, what we can do to really just incorporate helping our youth, raising them up. You know, what kind of programs can we create to help our youth? What things are we going to be able to do in our community to just provide, whether it's education, whether it's mentorship, leadership, things we can do in our community to make things better. So I got Big L over here. He's joining us. Big L, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Man, I am the Big L of the Salt and Pepper Gang. Been with the crew since we first began. Been around kids and mentorship almost, I played in the pros 7 years, so we were said to speak in front of kids from high school all the way up to college, so from teaching camps to everything dealing with making a child become a better man. So this is a great segue for me to make, to with the guys to understand that, man, we're in a good place right now, and it's second nature to me. To be able to go and speak in front of kids, to be a big brother to them, and just to show them that there are good brothers out here that want men and young men to be better men.
Nice. What about you, Anthony?
How you doing? My name is Anthony Moe. I'm part of SPG, Salt and Pepper Gang. I just recently started getting into, mental health and everything as I met my Salt and Pepper brothers. I've always wanted to make a difference and do things in young men's lives as well as grown men's lives, because health and wellness is real. Like, it doesn't matter what age group you're in. And I think that we need more of us to help youth understand that the streets don't love you. It's okay to learn the streets, but the streets don't love you. You got family members that's there for you. You got to stick with them. But again, I'm here to help with my Salt and Pepper brothers to get this on the roll. Let's just this going, man. Let's help these youth, man. And a lot of people don't acknowledge the way things are nowadays because they're too scared to admit it, or they don't want to admit it. But health and wellness and mental health is real. So.
All right. And I'm also my Salt and Pepper brother Gabriel in the house today.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Gabriel Bush. I've been part of SPG since day one. And, I'm an actor, model, writer, and I'm big on health and fitness and working out and taking care of yourself. So, I'm just here with the guys, hoping that we can mentor the youth and provide some opportunities for underprivileged children and youth that may not have opportunities that other people may have. So that's what we're striving to do.
All right. And you guys know me, and if you don't, my name's Terrence. I'll be your host for the Black Exchange with the Salt and Pepper Gang, and stay tuned so we can keep you tapped in. So to start off, really our topic is today's youth. For me, I recently started a health and wellness academy where we can really get on the mental health side of a lot of the things that our youth are dealing with. And I know some of my brothers here, whether we have kids or we're just in an environment to reach out and touch our youth, it's extremely important to let them know that they have somewhere to talk to, they have somewhere they can go, and to really just kind of be in touch with that and let them know that there's somebody out there that cares for them, that, wants to see them be successful. And that's part of what the Salt and Pepper Gang here does. Everything from visiting high schools to make sure that our young kings are able to make it to their proms, those kings that are showing exemplary in their school. They're doing well, they're doing the things that they're supposed to do, and they're showing and making themselves a good example for others. So those are the ones we want to really reach out and touch, and even those other ones that maybe they're struggling a little bit, maybe they do need some guidance. So, we really want to try to provide a platform where not only they can be educated on things that maybe they're curious about, but also know that me and my brothers are here to help whenever necessary. Big L, let me ask you, just kind of, what do you feel like our youth is missing these days?
Man, honestly, most of the kids that I've visited thinking that their next priority is NFL, NBA, sports. Sports is going to take them out of this world and that's going to feed their families and all of that stuff. And I was one of the people or the kids that grew up wanting that mentality, or had that mentality to want to be bigger than, I want to feed my family. I want to be the one that did it for my family.
Okay.
I came up short. I had to work my way into the NBA. I had to work my way overseas. I had to work my way, and it didn't happen. I didn't get drafted. I didn't get none of that stuff. So I had to go out and get it.
Okay.
So kids these days, from elementary to middle school to college and all that stuff, and they don't want to give up on that dream. But man, if you knew the numbers of where we were to get to the NBA, it's like one in ever. It's so hard to get there. So. Right. So here we are having a teaching mentality of, man, you can make a lot of money as a doctor, as a lawyer, or running your own business to say, hey, I'm gonna look out for the people who didn't have the opportunities that I had.
Right.
Because everybody's not cut out for college. Everybody's not like that. But do you have a mentality to make money? Now kids can get paid in college and high school and NIL deals and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So much easier. We didn't have that in the 90s.
Yeah.
So now we look at kids and say, okay, what avenue do you love now, or what can you create to make you money for everybody in your crew now? So okay, so now let's throw in $100 a month. I don't care what, if it's allowance in 10 years and 5 years and we graduate from high school, what happens now?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So now these guys are grouping. Man, I read this a lot, and it's more, you see kids and now we're 18 and we got shoe deals and all, but what did you do? Man, we raised $10,000 to start our business.
Yeah.
But that's a mentality. Do all kids have a mentality? No. But we can actually teach them to say, man, what other ideas can you come up with to be a better man and block out the basketball, the baseball, the football, the sports world, and make an average or a better income.
So let me ask this. So in you guys' opinion, where do you feel is like the shortcoming when it comes to our youth's mentality in making money?
The mentality, because a lot of them want to make fast money, but the faster you make it, the faster you spend it, and then you're not saving money. You buying all these materialistic things, and then you wonder where your money went. Now you got to work even harder to get back to where you want to be or should be. Like with me, I have a trade. I've been a welder for 38 years. I taught it at 2 different colleges for 5.5 years. And nobody never taught me about a trade. They took it out of the schools and everything like that. So it's like I'm here now to try to help, people get back into these trades. Like when I talk to youngsters, I tell them, I say, hey, man, I know you want to go to NBA. Like the young man that I had to speak to the other day. That's cool that you want them dreams, but the same token, what if you get hurt? You get hurt, it's a done deal. You gotta be able to have an investment, or you gotta have something to fall back on. And nowadays, I'm all about trade schools.
Yeah.
Go to a trade. You don't even have to go to school. Just go to get a 6-month program, a year program, 2, 3. Depends on what you want. Get a certification. And plumbing, electricity, HVAC, welding. You gotta have something to fall on. Them trades is never going away. I don't care how much computer skills they got, all this technology.
Somebody always gonna need some.
Them trades is never going away. So I'm big on trying to get the young youth, men and women, to get in these trades. That's what they're there for. The world is revolving, and we need more people to follow behind us when we're not here anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I think? Not to cut you off. I'm
sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think one of the big things that we forget about is actually economic education. You can teach people how to, do the things that you were talking about. Right. We can teach people about HVAC and electricity and plumbing. We can teach people a trade and teach people how to make money. But I think one thing that's lacking, especially in our community, is how to basically, I guess, grow your money. A lot of people don't know about investments. A lot of people don't know about other things except just work yourself to the bone in order to make money, but there's so many other ways to make money. You can start a business and make your own money. You can invest your money in stocks. You can invest your money in crypto. You can invest your money in so many other things. Yeah. And, instead of just working to death and then expecting retirement to cover you. So I think economic education is something that's lacking. Even in adults, a lot of people don't know what to do except get up, go to work, die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Straight up. So how do you teach your children not to follow in those footsteps if you don't know yourself?
Yeah.
When we were in high school, they didn't give classes on what to do with your money.
Finances
Yeah,
and credit.
finance classes unless you were a finance major.
Right.
But I think everybody should be educated
On the
somewhat
basic
about
level.
finance.
Yeah,
Instead
but
of,
technology is out there.
right.
It's easier nowadays because they got the technology.
Right.
You can just go watch some videos to do how to finance.
You're right.
You know,
Yeah.
you just gotta want the main thing is you have to want to educate yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Self-education is important.
Yeah, self education.
I'll speak to that because I feel like, yeah, you gotta want it, but also in that token, if you're not seeing anybody else that has that, and you don't have an
Right.
example, and you don't have somebody who can show you how to get to there, 9 times out of 10 you're not
You're not
thinking
going to know
about that.
about it. Right, that's
So-
what I'm saying.
but you
Most
gotta
adults
ask
don't know
questions.
about that either. So
Yeah.
how can I tell my 20-year-old about financial education and financial literacy when I was never taught it myself?
Yeah, because I know me growing up, I didn't find out about credit cards till I got one.
Right.
And
Right,
then when I
exactly.
did get one, I ran it up, and then
Blew it.
yeah, that was it. That was it. Then I went, I went and got another one.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say that the education on a basic level for our youth is detrimental. To just have the understanding of how credit works, to have
Right.
an understanding that as a business owner you can start writing things off that
Yep.
a regular residential person is just not going to be able to do.
Right.
And to really just kind of put yourself in that position to where, one, you're financially literate, you know how to make a budget, right? So you're not just spending money, not knowing where it goes. And back in the day we had checkbooks,
Right.
Right.
so
Can stand on a check.
to a little bit you can try to balance a checkbook.
Yeah.
I think I tried that a couple times, but who has checks anymore? So I think there's a large aspect of adults, and a lot of adults that don't know how to use credit, how to build credit on the business or a personal side.
Right.
So how are we going to teach our kids? So a lot of that to me is just us building a platform where we can educate and show how important that is, and be, an example, not just to our youth, but to people in general, to really start to focus on those things. So when you do get in a situation, or you're ready to buy a house, or you're getting married and have kids,
Right.
you know how to maneuver. So I think that's the big thing, is just getting the information out there on a platform that is actually able to reach our youth
Right.
and people in general.
Right, but at the same token, it's all about who you know sometimes too. Like, I know so many people that if I don't know something, okay, listen, I need you to go talk to this person right here.
Right.
I'm always, putting people in different avenues of who to talk to for certain businesses, certain things they want to learn. Because I know I don't know a lot of things either, but I ask questions, and when I get in conversations with people and we conversing about certain things, and it's something that I'm interested in, I'm gonna ask questions.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but like I said, again, there's so much technology out here. There's so many Google this, Google that can teach you so many things. And the younger generation is more mindful to technology than we are.
Absolutely.
I'm not a technical person. Yeah, I use my cell phone here and there, but I don't like Googling and going online and all the time looking for things. Sometimes I like doing things old-fashioned way, but
Yeah.
sometimes
What you
it
gonna
work.
find, an encyclopedia?
Yeah.
If I have it, I do. Hell yeah,
You're going to be in the library, in the archives.
But then, they got so many different slangs and different words and definitions of things. It's good to use
Well,
technology.
and I've heard this before. I feel like older generation, we got to learn from our youth just as much as we have the desire for them to learn from us.
Because they understand
So,
the technology more than we
right
do.
now we're at our 15-minute mark. We're going to take a quick break, and the Black Exchange with the Salt and Pepper Gang will be right back.
Love editing.
Welcome back to the Black Exchange with the Salt and Pepper Gang. We've been talking about our youth, providing platforms that they're able to be educated on finances, entrepreneurship, and just being financially literate. And that's not just our youth also, but that also goes for us grown folks. There's a lot of folks out there who just aren't educated when it comes to credit and finances. So we just kind of been touching on that today. How you brothers feel when it comes to, teaching your kids about finances?
I'll give you the perfect story. And it has nothing to do with my kids. It was just a professor giving me gems.
Yeah.
So I was taking classes, just extra classes, just I'm one of those people, right? So we go on, and the professor was like, listen, you know how I became a millionaire? I was like, you're a millionaire? He said, yeah, I don't have to do this. I just love what I do, right? He said, my dad taught me at let's say, as soon as I got my license, my first car was $300 a month.
Yeah.
Right? He said, as soon as you pay the $300, you pay your car off at $300 a month, start paying yourself. You never seen the $300 anyway, so start paying your savings. Put the $300 in your savings and watch what happened in 18 years, or 20 years, or 10 years. He said, before I knew it, I never even realized I was putting money in that account. So as he got older and graduated from college, he walked out, he was like 1.3 million.
Yeah.
Million. So it was like, dude, I never stopped doing it. I just kept it in there. He said, now my house is paid for, my cars are paid for. I walk to school every day and teach because I love what I do. He said, but think about that with all kids who grow up, they just get their license and they pay a car off within a year. You might have paid it off, but they don't know that. Pay yourself the same $300 for however long you want to do it, and go back and look at it within 10 to 12, 15 years.
I was thinking about this the other day. So I was listening to an article and it's about compounding, and to think that at 12 years old, if we just started putting a little bit of money away and learn how to just put it away, right. and whether it be in stocks or 401, mutual funds, but just have a little bit of education knowing that if I put this away now, by the time I'm 55, I'm gonna retire a millionaire.
Right.
How simple would that be? Had somebody had told me that way back then, and I had at least a little inkling that, hey, don't worry about that credit card. Let me just put a little bit away each and every time I get a little extra. Right. Man, life would be different.
It would
so I want to share that with somebody else, and I think it's not enough people who care enough to just say, hey, I want to provide you with some information and some gems just because. It's not transactional. I don't have to get nothing in return from this. And they do it from the kindness of their heart. Right. And I feel like that's what, that's how I feel. And I know a lot of my brothers feel that way. And I just, I can't wait till we get to a point where everybody has a great understanding of finances and credit. Where I think we're at a good place where, there's a lot of platforms and a lot of different, like whether it's YouTube or different webinars where you can get this information out there if you desire to learn it. So I think that's a big thing, is that there's just not enough youth out there that desires to know that information. Right.
I mean, my thing, I'm not gonna lie, I wish I was taught finances when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? My father, he being in the military, he was hardly ever home. My mother raising us and all everything. But my thing is like, if I would have known that back then, just like they teach us about Bible, going to church, Bible study and all that, I would have loved for them to have taught me about finances. Yeah. So I think I'd be in a better place right now if they did. You know what I mean? But I'm still learning a lot of things myself at the age of 53. I'm not ashamed to say. But I wasn't able to teach my sons about a lot of things because I still was learning myself.
Okay.
Right.
So I am kind of glad that they have technology where my sons can learn from the technology, since I wasn't able to teach it to them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
I got my oldest son, Caius, graduated from Long Island University. I think he probably had 2 jobs in his life.
Okay.
He's into the stocks, all that. I was never taught that, but I'm glad he got into it, and he's very successful at it. He's been working for himself for years. My second oldest son, Isaiah, he's a go-getter. He graduated from St. John Fisher in Rochester, New York. He's doing really great. He travels. He got a job. He travels. He saves his money. He knows how to save money. He's very financially stable.
Right.
My youngest son, Elijah, he went to Buffalo State University. He didn't like school. So I'm like, hey, you gotta go. You gotta do something. You got a backup plan. You're not gonna be living on your mother, not working. So he got him a job. He's been working ever since. He saved money. He don't hang out or do anything, so he saves a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Nice.
But I just wish I would have learned all that. But I'm glad my sons are set in that field where they know all that. You know what I'm saying? So me, I'm good. I'm gonna learn. I learn from them just like they learn from me. So I'm good. So, but whatever I learn, I try to give back. That's just me.
So I heard you say something about crypto. Are you familiar with it?
Not that much.
So, in the last year, I've been dabbling in crypto, doing trading, stocks. And then I went to doing foreign exchange, and that's the actual cryptocurrencies. And I have fun with it. So, the difference I feel like between that and really, I think there's a learning curve with everything. But the potential is great, but there's risk with everything. So you have to be smart with your money when you're doing that. But I feel like we're at a place where that dollar is starting to fade away, and everything's starting to go to these digital currencies. And for us as adults, not to educate ourselves on these digital currencies, whether it be Ethereum, whether it be Bitcoin.
I lost money in that.
Yeah, it was too late. It was too late. But so even with Bitcoin, if you buy some Bitcoin and you just hold on to it, because I had some Bitcoin, I just held on to it. I almost forgot about it, and I actually went back a year later, and originally it was only about $50 in there and some Bitcoin, but I had went back a year later, and this thing was like $400.
I still have some. I don't even check it. I still have some.
That digital currency, you have to educate yourself on that, really find where our world's kind of going today. And I feel like we're really starting to lean towards our digital currencies, whether it be crypto, whether it's Ethereum. So there's different platforms and different blockchains that we can invest in, but it's definitely something that we should educate ourselves on, so that when it does switch over, we're not blindsided.
Right.
So we're not lost and found trying to figure out, what can I do with this? But these blockchains are really taking these big banks out of the equation.
Yeah.
So the big banks forever have always been the middleman when it comes to us moving money, receiving money. Even when it's our own money, these big banks take a piece of it just because they're the middleman. So a lot of things with these new digital currencies, they're taking that middleman out, and it's not as expensive. The downside of that, and I think the controversy comes in, is the regulation. That the government can't necessarily regulate it, and they're not going to profit from it. So I feel like at the point where they can't profit from it, they don't necessarily like it, but it's one of those things where at a point where they can't stop it.
Right.
So, definitely got to educate yourself on the new finances and new currencies and the things that are going to happen in our future, so that you're not blindsided. And I feel like, the younger generation kind of knows these things already. To really educate ourselves too.
Yeah, more advanced than we are.
Way ahead of us.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And another thing somebody was telling me too, a good friend of mine, he said, man, if you can get a hold of some gold, get a hold of gold.
Commodities.
That's commodities.
So gold,
is
silver,
hold a lot of weight,
coffee,
in time. You know what I mean? So he said, if you can get your hands on some gold, hold on to it as long as you can.
Yeah. So, gold and silver, that's never going to go anywhere. Even at the point where we have digital currency, it'll probably still be backed by gold. Yeah.
And just like they talk about, just some of the time, but when they talk about investing in a Rolex, a Rolex is a true investment. Because if you have a Rolex, something happens to you in life, you don't have no money, none of that, you can trade that Rolex, because a Rolex don't lose its value.
True, but you better have insurance on it.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
No, that you'll be a fool not to have insurance on it, but little stuff like that, people don't think about. Yeah. You know what I mean? Little stuff like that. Hey, get a Rolex. Okay, I'm gonna buy me a $10,000 Rolex. If there's something happened in 10 years, I'll go bankruptcy or I don't have no money, I can get this and I can get my $10,000 or $95 or whatever I can to get me back on my feet. You know what I mean? So, but yeah.
That's good.
All right, so we're gonna go on to a different topic, man. So at least for myself, I'm big on health and wellness, fitness, and just people and the different aspects of our daily lives.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say.
One thing. Speaking on terms of what Big Al was talking about earlier, as far as like being in the NBA, NFL, and all that thing, like one thing I like to say to the young youth is, if that's what you want to do, and I was telling this to the youngster the other day, I said, the way you eat, what you drink, what you smoke affects how your performance.
Right.
I said the food nowadays is not good for none of us. So what you normally eating a full plate of, try eating half of that. Eat in moderations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So because to make you a better athlete, you gotta stay healthy.
Right.
And we keep eating these fried foods. Yeah, that's all good. I like fried foods too, but some of them things you gotta detox yourself every now and then.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let me say one thing.
You have to, man.
Let me speak on that. As a trainer, fried food is never good.
At all.
I'm gonna say that fried food is never good. It's tasty.
Every now and then,
you know,
you can have a fried chicken.
It's never good. I've even had a fried Oreo. It was
But
delicious.
it's moderation.
But,
Everything you do is moderation.
You know, fried food is never good for you.
Yeah.
It's finding balance in the things that you do.
Correct.
But wait, so y'all got to answer this question for me then. So when y'all, because both of y'all health guru, got it, right? So when you talking fried foods, and when you say, well, I don't want to, don't cook with vegetable oils. It might be olive oil. I can sear something that's fried, bro. That's not bad for me. I thought, because it's in olive oil, it's in avocado oil, so how do we go? Perfect example of where we go into the men's and fitness of. So when we go into the workout side, I want you guys to understand that, and that's why I'm asking this question, because some people do like seared salmon or seared tilapia or seared.
Okay.
Now,
You keep putting these quotations around the sear.
Let me just explain. Look.
That's
But
right.
I understand to you like this. There are certain oils that are better than others. But at the bottom, at the end of the day, it's still an oil. The boiling point for an oil is way higher than the body temperature of a human being to get it out of your system. So any oil you put in your body, chances are it's going to stay there, clogging up your arteries, clogging up your veins, period. It doesn't leave.
So I gotta bake it.
So you can sear it. It's just moderation, like we're talking about.
If I put
Moderation.
it on a salad, and I say I'm finna sear it and then chop it up, put it on a salad. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
so we're talking about a teaspoon.
When I say sear, I don't remember sear like.
So,
okay,
but even
A whole
in that,
bucket, like these not.
but even in that, you don't need
not a deep fry.
You don't need the oil. You could easily use some Pam.
Exact ham, butter.
There's avocado oil, right?
Yeah, right.
So there's
Right.
many other alternatives that you don't have to use oil in order to sear, like you're talking about.
Right.
So, but what I'm
Sear.
really talking about is not searing. We're talking about deep fry.
Yeah.
Right. We're talking about deep
chicken.
fry.
Yeah.
We're talking about I'm taking it and I'm gonna dunk it in
Dump
there.
it in there and
Yeah.
leave it in there for 10 minutes.
And then I'm gonna pull it out,
absorbing
and then I'm
grease.
gonna eat the grease
Eat
and the
grease
food.
and-
Right.
Yeah, that's that.
So
That's
we
bad.
all on the fitness side. I want you guys. So on the fitness side, they say, of course, it goes to the arteries, and it doesn't help you grow as far as the muscles. I got all that stuff. But what do you do to wean yourself off of that fatty food to eat better? Is it really discipline? Is it really saying, hey, I have health issues, I need to stop eating?
Gabe, I'm gonna let you take
It's
this.
a mental
Yeah, it's
thing.
Come
discipline.
on now.
Yeah, it's discipline, and you have to be aware of what you're eating and realize that what you're putting into your body is affecting you long term. So yeah, you have to be disciplined. You have to have a certain mind state to say, okay,
I wanna
can't
do
eat
this.
Yeah, I want to eat better. I want to eat healthier. I want to take care of myself.
Right.
You know, because at the end of the day, what you put into your body affects your performance. It affects who you are. It even affects the way you think. You know,
Absolutely.
So,
Hey,
But before we get too far off on this subject, we're gonna take a quick break. We're just getting into good stuff now.
I'm gonna get riled up now. I'm gonna get
Hey, I'm coming up next.
Come back with us, the Black Exchange with the Salt and Pepper Gang, y'all.
All right.
I'm gonna get y'all riled up.
All right, thank you for joining us this first episode of the Black Exchange with the Salt and Pepper Gang. We want to send a special thank you to Unc Cigar and Auntie's Hookah Lounge. That's what we're recording today. So come out, stay tuned in, tapped in with us, and watch out for our next episode. We're dropping next Wednesday. So make sure you check us out, follow us, and keep updated on our new shows. See you next time.